I thought it would be interesting to do a video, seeing as bloggers being a pain in the bottom and I can't write anything. I thought that I could record something. It's been quite a long time since I've done a video. I wanted to talk about the Mac event that I went to last week. You may have already read about it on a few blogs. It was the Mac are the official partners for the BAFTA Awards, and they do the makeup for it. And so this was a masterclass showing the kind of looks that you would do for a red carpet and their tips and tricks as to what they do on celebrities. It was really interesting because rather than it being editorial looks, it's more about working with the face, the features, and making someone look beautiful and making the most of them in a similar way to wedding makeup. So it's nothing outlandish, and you can use the tips that they recommended in your everyday makeup. We had quite a lot of opportunity to ask questions, and you know me, I'm dead nosy, so I asked lots of questions. One of the main things that I wanted to ask, and I assumed would be a problem for people going on the red carpet, was how you cover somebody up when they're having a flush. And as I said recently, that I embarrassed myself by going a delightful shade of purple through Nerves. And sorry, I got totally interrupted there by my small child and the postman. So yeah, I was talking about going red on the red carpet and flushing and how makeup artists deal with that. And rather than piling on more makeup, which eventually will really show up when they are no longer flushing, their top tip was to use antihistamines, the non-drowsy variety, and one that you can drink with. And I thought that was fantastic because I'd never heard of that before. And obviously, I'm not likely to be going on the red carpet, but there are occasions where I would like to not be going bright purple, so I shall definitely be storing that one. They had, this was the face chart that Lindsay Alexander had done for her model, and this is a very sorry, I'm terrible trying to get the incentive. It was very much based around the eye, and she did a very beautiful brown smoky eye. And what I found really interesting with the way that Lindsay was doing the makeup was that everything was very well buffed in, and that she would have a brush that had concealer still on it. I think she applied the concealer with a 217 brush, and at the outer edges of the makeup she would blend out using the brush that had concealer on it. So, and also when she was doing the cheeks, that she would similarly use the brush that had foundation on it to really blend out the edges so that you really didn't see where there was a beginning and an end. It was very much about making it just look like it was naturally there. And with, I mean, I love the brown smoky eye. It was very beautiful, and the basis of it was a paint pot to start with. She hasn't got it listed down in this face chart. Over the top of that, she applied eyeshadow, and she also used coffee eye pencil, which looked really nice for definition without being sort of harsh, which is not a look that you really want to go for. Another thing that I really took away from it was the fact that the makeup should be, and this was something that both Lindsay and Neil were saying, that it was about stepping back and looking at the makeup in the context of the entire body. Obviously, with a lot of the dresses that the celebrities wear, they're exposing a lot of their body. Their arms, décolleté, are all on show, and it was about making sure that you didn't end up with floating head syndrome, that the face and the makeup on the face was connected to the entire body. So that if you were adding sort of bronzer or highlighter to the face to give depth, you didn't just leave the body flattened. So what makeup artists do is they will continue what's on the face onto the body. Say if you are applying strobe cream, strobe liquid, which they used on the models, they were not just applying to the face, but also to the collarbone and areas of their arm, and of course if their legs are exposed you want to include it on there so that it's not just flat on their body. Neil's makeup, which is this chart here, if I can just focus in, was very much based around the lip look, and what I found really interesting was that Neil said if you're wanting to accentuate a particular part of the face, say if you're going for an eye look or a lip look, you should start with that so that you don't overdo the rest of the face. Say if you wanted to really accentuate the lips, you shouldn't put the rest of the face on and then add the lips on, because sometimes it just looks entirely wrong. And also a question that I asked about was something I've mentioned on the blog before about, do makeup artists ever go wrong? I certainly completely mess up my makeup. And they said, and you can see it in here, it's not that they've messed it up, that what they had planned to do in their face charts, they didn't always carry through with, because the model's face was different and what they were considering would necessarily have looked right. So it's about stepping back, looking carefully and seeing whether you really do need to add those lashes, or you really do want to use that particular colour. But yes, they do make mistakes, which is very interesting, and I took away from it again was that taking everything off is the last thing that you do. That they will, if a colour is wrong, that they will just keep on blending and blending and blending until it's virtually not there, rather than trying to take it off, which tends to make a mess of things. And I mean, obviously with a makeup artist, they have time and they're not rushing through everything. It's not like me in the morning when I'm just smacking everything on my face and trying to get out of the door. There's time to look and consider. And particularly if you were doing your makeup for a special occasion or an event, it probably would be a good idea to practice beforehand and sort of then take a picture of yourself in an entire context to see if what you wanted to do really worked. But you take a step back and think, well, does that really work with the rest of my face? Anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway, I hope this has been interesting and not too noisy from my child in the background. We'll see how I manage to edit that. Bye!
You take a stroll into the morning sun. You make a happy meal, a portion for one. You steal the wallet of a man with a gun. You make this seem like a whole lot of fun. Yeah, you do. You're making shapes with your hands on a wall. You're drawing the net while you're taking a call. You wouldn't care if you had nothing at all. Instead of chasing a dream, you're just chasing a ball. Yeah, you you're just dodging all the friendly fire. You're never dressed in the right attire. You miss the start of every game. You're my flame. You make hay when the sun don't shine. You don't need a dollar, you don't need a dime. You burn up both ends and still you're fine. You're my flame. Teach me to haggle, I'll teach you to swim. Get right back on the saddle, push me on the swing.